Air with a coverage of a complex of severe thunderstorms that is moving through the northern Leon County area. And we just got off another live that we had to conduct via Instagram because of some issues with our streaming technology. But as we were dealing with those technical difficulties, we started to notice another little bit of a hook just now crossing Thomasville Road. So if you were along County Road 12, right now in northern Leon County, once again, I do need to reiterate that this does not include the city of Tallahassee and is north of Centerville Road along Thomasville Road. But if we are entering the communities of Iomonia, this is where we're starting to grow concerned because we did start to see that little bit of a hook again on reflectivity, and it does in fact match with a little bit of a couplet on our velocity scans. Not much going on correlation coefficient, so I don't think we have a tornado on the ground yet, but what we could see is we could see a tornado start to develop and cross Thomasville Road, and as we head into the rush hour, that is not something that we want to experience in our evening. So as we head north on Thomasville Road towards the communities of Iomonia and Beachton and Rocky Hill, this is the area that we are watching for tornado potential. And so I am going to throw things over to Robert on the wall, where he is going to get us more play-by-play coverage on this system.
Right, we are watching again this system right here. It is right just east of Iomonia. I know this is a little bit farther from the center of the city of Tallahassee, but there are also a lot of people that are out here. Okay, we're going to pass it actually back off to Jonathan real quick to continue coverage of this storm.
So we are continuing to have a little bit of technical difficulties, but as we zoom in once again, I think if there's a tornado on the ground right now, which there is not a tornado warning, and we are not the professionals. The National Weather Service in Tallahassee got us covered there. However, just from a few years of experience doing this, if we are seeing a potential tornado developing, it is over Thomasville Road, just to the south of Iomonia, moving towards the east-northeast. And if it is doing that, it is going to be along the County Road 12 area, about to cross the state line and eventually impact communities such as Metcalf. The city of Thomasville, this is going to remain to your south. City of Tallahassee, this is going to be to your north. But this is just going to sort of straddle the state line a little bit. I'm going to switch the correlation coefficient. Still not seeing much there. Not much on storm relative velocity. So this looks to be sort of a smaller threat. But once again, we are seeing a little tiny bit of a hook just to the east of Thomasville Road as we get a new scan. Still going to be the same thing, a little bit of a foot on radar sticking out just to the southeast of Iomonia, where we do see a little bit of a couplet on velocity. So if there's a tornado, that's where it would be. However, we do not have a tornado warning in effect right now. There is a tornado possible tag and a severe thunderstorm warning with some broad rotation noted that includes the much bigger Tallahassee market area, but for more on this general cell, I'm going to throw things back over to a picture with radar with Robert on the green screen.
Right, so we are watching this storm. We have been watching it for the last hour or so. It's been making its way through the Tallahassee market area. It's now to the north of the city of Tallahassee, but if you are going along US 27, North Monroe Street, US 319, this is north of the city of Tallahassee, you are going to at least experience heavy rain, very high winds, a chance for some large hail, and if you are on 319 Thomasville Road, you do have that shot of a potential spin-up circulation right here. Watching that over there. I also am a little bit concerned about a feature just west of the city of Havana or southwest. It's right here. These are features we look for on a radar, things called hooks, that are a little bit indicative of tornado potential, maybe not a tornado happening, but of a potential. So it's right just west of Havana, right over here. I don't see a lot on velocity yet.
Radar's kind of messy.
Yeah, it is also a little bit close to the radar, so it is a little bit more messy, but this right over here could be a little bit concerning.
And what we could see is the same thing that we saw earlier with this one that was tornado warned, where we have this little cell to the south that eventually merges into the one in the north, and that cell merger is in a conducive environment that's actually going to potentially cause a tornado spin up.
Right, and I'm just going to check our chat to see if we have any questions real quick. I'm also going to post this on our social media. We are, again, I'm getting pretty concerned about this one right over here. It does.
It doesn't look super conducive.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about the other one, but yes, the Havana one, not terrible.
Not terrible up here either. Nothing on correlation.
Yeah, here it's not the worst, but it does seem to be, at least to my eye, a little bit strengthening just a tad bit, but no tornado warning yet. And again, I want to emphasize, the Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning, So again, we respect their decision here. They do have obvious good reasons for not issuing one, but they did issue a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, which is essentially one step below a tornado warning. Says they think this storm can produce a tornado. They just don't think it's quite there yet. So again, 319 just south of the city of Thomasville, northwest of Monticello, anywhere in that area. That's going to be where we're looking for a potential spin-up tornado if one does happen. Again, I want to emphasize that we don't have one yet, but it would be in this area right here, just east of 319.
I'm going to investigate to see if we have any hail showing up on our precip type. Looks like there was maybe some hail earlier southeast of Attapulgis and northwest of Havana, but that's not associated with the current scans. Yeah. I'm really, okay, maybe that little pink area just over the Georgia state line in Thomas County, Georgia, that is where we could maybe see some hail, but they did notice, what was the size, Robert, on that?
It was 1 1/4 inch, and it was somewhere right in here where they were when they warned it.
Okay.
So if we do have any hail reports, of course, we'll let you know when that happens. This is, I will say, this setup today from a meteorological standpoint is a little bit more conducive to a larger hail threat than a tornado threat and or damaging winds threat. But again, large hail down here doesn't necessarily mean 2 to 3 inches. That's not what we're seeing at all here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's more of a mesocyclone up
Yeah.
in Georgia than a couplet. So
it definitely doesn't seem to be a discrete, very concerning tornado potential at the moment. I would say the shape of the storm is honestly a little bit more concerning than the actual velocity data, which tells me that there probably isn't that big of a tornado threat at the moment. But again, these storms can spin up something very quickly, and that's why we're right now covering this, because
let's zoom out and go to the big picture.
Right. Okay. So here in Tallahassee, our threat is lower than it is up towards Georgia. If you are in Georgia, you know anyone in Georgia. I know there's a little bit of bleed over from our market area up towards this area just south of Macon. This is where we have some severe weather going on right now. We do actually have what is a tornado warning for this storm. It's in Cordell. It's right along Interstate 75, and I'm gonna, right here. Just west of the city of Rochelle. I want to emphasize this is not in our market area, so this is to our north. So if you are watching us from Tallahassee, this is no threat to you. We'll get back to covering our storm in a second, but we want to make sure we are also covering those in Georgia as well, because they do have a big tornado potential at the moment. So this cell right here is tornado warned. It is on US 280, just west of Pitts. That's a bit of a concern for you if you're in Pitts. Exactly, yeah. So it's in Pitts and Rochelle. So those of you in Pitts and Rochelle need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately, going towards a lowest level room, go to a closet or a bathroom, somewhere that is on the first floor of your house and at the close to the center as possible. You just want to put as much space between you and the tornado as possible. This is our biggest concern here. Also, could you go to the west a little bit? I think
that's concerning.
That I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and this looks a little bit more concerning to me as well. Southeast of the city of Leslie.
But it also is a loft.
That's true. So it is a little bit far from the radar. But what is happening off could mix down. We'll have to see. Right now, no tornado warning.
I'm thinking that's a hail. I think that's a hailer.
Definitely,
let's go to precip type. That's a hailer.
It's definitely a big hail. Essentially, with all of these storms, we're going to see a risk of large hail. That, again, with today, the major threat is large hail, not tornadoes. But these are going to be more supercellular, so they do have that risk of spinning up and doing a potential tornado threat. To the west, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch, and that's going to include most of the central area of Alabama. Montgomery, Birmingham, that's going to include all of you. And essentially, all of these storms are looking for a threat of severe weather. Right now, we do have this severe thunderstorm warning, which includes the southern half of the Birmingham area.
Yeah, that's Jefferson County.
Yeah, this is southern half of Jefferson County, not an immediate threat to the city of Birmingham, but it does include areas like Bessemer and Hoover, and this is US 459, the outer loop. So those of you around the southern area of Birmingham, that is a threat for you. It's going to be mostly large hail and damaging winds. Wouldn't rule out a spin-up tornado, but that's not our biggest concern at the moment. And looking at the big picture, we essentially have this area to our north, which is more favored for severe weather than us. This is where we're going to see all these cells starting to pop up and have a chance for maybe some large hail, damaging winds, and we won't rule out an isolated tornado, as we can see right here with this tornado warning right now. Any of these cells can spin up, so if you are in this area, I would highly recommend that you make sure you're staying attuned to these alerts and know where to go to that lowest level room on your first floor, like a closet or a bathroom. Just know it now, so when it happens, if you have a tornado warning, you can know where to go. This does not include the city of Atlanta, I don't believe, but it does include its southern suburbs.
It does not include
Yeah, it doesn't
Atlanta.
include Fulton County, but it does include just the south of the city of Atlanta.
One thing I do want to take a second to point out is that these are the same areas that were heavily, heavily impacted by yesterday's storms. So that does increase potential for flying debris if there is a tornado picked up that moves into a similar area. Plus, a lot of things that we may encounter in this region includes storm fatigue. So we know that you are tired from yesterday's storms if you are in the southwestern South Carolina, southeastern Georgia regions. However, today's threat is just as serious, and we need you to take it seriously. Another thing I want to point out is that we sort of have this line of severe thunderstorm warnings in central Georgia that sort of extends towards the Montgomery on the I-85 corridor. And the I-16 corridor, and that's going to be sort of writing a boundary. And those are the storms throughout the day that you're going to have to watch for rotation. They did just drop our only active tornado warning, so that is good news. But there's sort of a surge of moisture that we're seeing coming back in, and that is going to fuel the second day of severe thunderstorms. Now, I want to go back to Tallahassee. Oh, dear.
I don't like the way that looks. I would say that personally, the velocity isn't as concerning.
But it might catch up.
But it could catch up. And if it is, it's going to be right down
And
here.
that is a cell merger.
That is a cell merger as well, which does often, we see when these two cells kind of merge, it increases the potential of having a spin-up tornado. So again, this would include areas in populated northern suburbs of Tallahassee.
But
no tornado warning right now, though.
And not campus.
And not campus. It's not going to include anywhere in Capital Circle. So if you're in Capital Circle, you're fine. This is more of a concern for those of you towards Lake Jackson. But again, right now, I would say no tornado warning. If you're in those areas, maybe take a precaution right now, but no immediate threat. And we do have this other one up here. Can we go back to velocity?
Yeah.
I would say that's not a big concern at the moment. Something could spin up out of it,
Meh.
but it's not huge for us. So fortunately,
We are hearing thunder in the FSU weather studios for the first time today.
Fortunately, no immediate tornado threat for us right now.
You know, this could organize into something, which
it
is
could.
why we're going to keep a close eye on it. But thankfully, not anything too significant going on right now. So we could leave air, Robert, I think, and then
Right.
jump back on if something happens.
We could do that. Well, let me see if there's anything in the chat real quick or any comments. And maybe we just do like one quick scan over everything that's happening here. But yeah, I would agree that there's...
I don't think there's anything significant right now. We will come back on if we get another tornado warning or even anything that's a little bit closer to campus. But right now we're just watching a cell merger and seeing how that's going to turn out.
Right.
Just to the southeast of Havana, kind of looking messy is the word I'm going to use to describe it. But it almost looks like it's almost imitating. Sort of like a mime or a clown,
Right.
sort of imitating a
It's
supercell.
not what we see this is not a classic hook right here. This is more of a cell merging and making it look like it's a hook. So it could be a concern, but that's why we're not as concerned at the moment. Just
Right
because
now,
we're
the
not seeing it
inflow
mix.
to this hook is garbage.
Yeah, we're not seeing it mix down or anything close
Yeah.
to seeing those winds flowing in there you need to form this tornado. A potential tornado. For the city of Tallahassee, we're seeing some showers and thunderstorms to the west here, but nothing major for a concern for us here. So we're going to, again, we will come back on if there is a major tornado threat. But right now, we don't see anything immediately, so we will go off the air and we will return for our show at 6 if nothing happens before then, which we really do hope so. So thank you for joining us today, and we will continue to keep you updated. We'll tweet on our FSU Weather. Go to @FSU Weather on Twitter to make sure you're following for updates, and stay tuned to the weather tonight because, particularly in Georgia, if you know anyone in there, make sure you let them know there is a potential for a damaging situation with these storms. So thank you again, and have a good rest of your day.